Okay, so today I'm getting started on my spring murals that I'm making. So I'm going to sketch out something on Procreate here. And if this is the first video you're watching and you don't know, I do have a series about Procreate, how to do things on Procreate. This is an example of me doing a practical project in real life that I start with Procreate, but then I do something else. So I'm using this as like a guide sheet to my layout for the mural. So what I did here is Procreate has a feature where you can put like a grid on your artwork, your little canvas here, so that I can figure out, how big I want things, where I want things to be, like actually on the windows. So we're going to use it kind of like graph paper, except we're not using paper, we're using the Procreate app. So if you want to know how you can do this on Procreate and you're not aware, I do have a video all about the guides on Procreate. So this is there's a 2D grid guide, which is what I have here, but there's also a few other guides that you can use, and those are all in the video Procreate for Beginners guides, and I'll link that. All right, so I measured the windows. There's 4 of them and they're all the same size. And this is a rough measurement. It's not exact, but I don't really need it to be exact for this project. So it's about 57 inches tall and 35 3/4 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is, mark out that on this grid roughly. I'll probably do 57 by 36. And the reason it doesn't really matter is because I don't need it to be exact. Like, I just need, what I'm going to be doing is sketching out words on here mainly, and how tall I want those letters to be, and what kind of configuration I want them to be in. And then I'll figure out how to translate that to the window after this. So there's going to be words and there's going to be flowers and stuff on it because it's a springtime thing. So we're going to do a lot of flowers. So in Procreate, there is a thing called layers, and I have a video all about that as well. I will link that. But on this layer 1 here, on this layer 1 here, I'm going to make, the window on here, the size of the window, and then we'll use that to sketch different ones. So I'm going to do that first. All right. So 57. I gotta count this out. It's gonna be fun. I can always move it around later because I'm probably going to, but I'm gonna start, let's say, right here. This is gonna be the bottom. I'm just gonna do this temporarily. I'll erase it later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna do tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that one. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I need 57 exact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, perfect. All right. Oh, let's fix that. It's hard to do while I'm on camera. All right, so I'm gonna this is something I haven't done on Procreate yet, really. Teaching in my series yet, but I'm going to transform this. I'm just going to pick up what I've drawn here and I'm going to move it down so it's a little more centered. All right. Just a note, at the time of filming this video, which was 3 months prior to now when I'm releasing it, I hadn't done a video on transformations on Procreate. I have done one since. It is on the Procreate and Digital Art playlist on my channel page, along with my other Procreate videos. But I will also link it for you in the description and in the cards. Thank you. Carry on. So that's the vertical ones. So this is 57 up here. I'm just going to write 57. Again, this is hard to do. And then I'm going to do the ones this way. So starting here, I'm going to do 36, like I said. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's pretty good. I mean, I could move it over, I suppose, a little bit. There. All right, so that's just my counting out. I'm actually going to make another layer now where I make the actual box. So this is going to be a little interesting. Actually, this isn't even on. Hello? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Okay. I need to move this over a little again because it's not exactly on the screen, and that's because I can't really see it. Let me, hold on. All right, I'm gonna move this over a little bit because it's not exactly on the line, because I couldn't really see when I was doing it. All right, that's better. Okay, now I can stretch this out a little more again. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the box. I don't want to do that. Now I'm going to make the box on this layer. Going from, this isn't on. All right, that's fine. I can compensate for that. All right, so we're going up to this line here. I can do a quick line, which is nice. Make it nice and straight, because I'm kind of rushing through this. I'm going to turn this for a minute. All right, and it doesn't have to be closed or anything, that's fine. All right, so then basically I can turn this off. Well, I'm just going to turn the opacity down on it, so it's not as distracting, but I can still see it if I need to count. And then, okay, so that's like the actual window size according to this grid. All right, so now I have my window drawn here, and then very faintly I have the numbers from where which I might actually move this over again because I went a little off this way. All right, that'll work. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the first window here, and I might try a few different things. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet. But what I'm going to do is the phrase, or I guess it's, well, it's a full quote, I guess. Spring reminds us, on one window, that it's time, on a second window, to turn over, on the third window, and then the fourth window, a new leaf. Kind of hokey, but that's what I'm going to do. I went through a bunch of spring quotes that I could find, and couldn't find one I really, really liked. Actually, there was one I liked, but it didn't work with the 4 windows, so. Anyway, I've opted for this one. So again, the first window is going to be spring reminds us. So I think what I'm going to do is emphasize the word spring. And this is something I'm going to talk about when I get to design principles, which I'm going to eventually be making videos about. So it's kind of an intro to that, I guess. But basically, you kind of pick out words in the quote that you want to emphasize because they're more important a little bit. So in this window, it's spring reminds us. So spring is going to be the emphasis. So it's going to be a little bigger, and it's going to be a different type of lettering. And I guess I can try out a different way, but what I was kind of thinking of is doing spring in very large block letters, and then reminds us in thin, simple script. Which is what I think I'm going to do. So going to the word spring is S-P-R-I-N-G is 6 letters. So 36, I can divide that by 6, but I need a little bit of a margin. So I could do 3 inches and then each be 5, which would be 30, and then 3 inches, so that's all 36 together, which I think is probably what I'm gonna do on this one. So let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so I want to, each of these squares is 1 inch, so I'm gonna make a 3-inch margin on the side here. What I'm not sure about is where vertically I want the things yet, so I'm not gonna do a margin for that on, at least not now on here. I'm going to do, I'm just gonna write, I'm actually gonna divide this, like I said, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be one of the letters for spring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 is left here. And then another 3 for the margin. So those are like my vertical guidelines. And this is just for the word spring, which I didn't have to make it the entire thing, but I am for now. And I'm gonna actually make this a less opaque, so it's not so distracting. And then I'm gonna add another layer, and I'm going to do, I'm just gonna write right now, well, I'm gonna do horizontal guideline. Let me put it back on this layer here. I'm gonna do horizontal guidelines. I could move these. In fact, maybe I should make them on their own layer then if I'm gonna move them. Oh, it's just a lot to do, All right, so question is how tall I wanna be. So it's 57, and I have one, this one word that I want to be bigger, and then I have 2 words that I want to be smaller. How big do I want each of them to be? Plus I'm gonna have flowers all around it. So, and there'll be some kind of margin up here at the top and at the bottom, but it's not really set in stone. And I'll kind of figure that out along the way, I think. But, so if I did, let's say, I'm just gonna try something. Let's do 10 inches for spring. I would have a ruler with me to see exactly how much that would be. How much is this? 12, I think. So it'd be like this. That seems pretty good. Let's do 10 inches, and then there would be like a little margin in between, a little spacer margin. And then the script lettering. The question is how much smaller do I want it to be? I guess what I could do is make like a box. What am I doing? Okay. I could make a box. I guess I can make a box. I can always move this, like I said. I'm just gonna stick it right here for now. It's gonna be here, and then I want it to be 10. So it's a little off. Little 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Basically that and that. I don't need to connect it. So that would be spring. And then maybe a 2-inch margin. And then again, how tall do I want those to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks pretty good, actually. 6 and 6, and then a 2-inch in between. All right, let's do that. Some of these lines aren't perfectly straight, but that's partially because I'm filming this, which it makes it harder because I can't really move things around so much. I don't really need a margin down there because the flowers are going to kind of go into the margin a little bit in some places. So, but anyway, this would be basically what I want for the lettering. So that's, I should be labeling these. But anyway, it's going to look much thicker than this. And it's going to be a lot better drawn. But I am just sketching this in. It's a little above the margin. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it like that or like that. Spring. R-E-M-I-N-D-S is 7, so that'll be a little bit, but I also want it to be like indented a little bit. I do want it to be centered. So R-E-M-I-N-D-S, R-E-M. The M's a little bigger anyway, so probably be like in the, basically the last hump of the M would be like the middle, so that's this. If I can try to do that, but I can always move it because I'm on Procreate, which is nice. So again, this is a sketch. Gotta fix that D at some point, but I'm not that worried about it. This is nice because the nodes kind of tell me where the center is. So something like that. And then us. Would be like that. Which technically, because this is a little different because it's script and only some of the letters come up to the entire space. I don't have any descenders here, which if there was, that would go further down. So it's the margin's a little off again, so it might have to adjust that, but we'll see. It's the joy of working with script, but sometimes it looks nice. All right, so that is basically the lettering of the first window, which is all I'm basically working on today. I'm not going to sketch in the flowers or anything. I'm not even sure if when I do sketch in the flowers, if I'm going to do that on Procreate at all. I might just do it on the window. But I'm trying to figure out where I want the lettering to be today so I can sketch those guidelines out on the window. So this is the first one. So what I'm going to do is group these. This too. In one group, and then I'm going to move on to the next window. Actually, I'm going to just rename this right away, window 1. All right, then I know what I'm doing. Hey everyone, Shannon here from Shrush Design. I want to thank you for watching this clip. If you are intrigued and want to know more, there is a full version of this clip available on YouTube. So why don't you head on over there and check it out, and check out my other videos as well. And while you're over there, if you like what you see, I humbly suggest hitting that subscribe button on my channel. That way I can grow the channel so I'm able to crank out these videos faster and with better quality as well. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.